Good afternoon, everyone. And like I said yesterday, so today I was there at the school and we had the annual result day. And at the school at present, we have like almost 600 students studying there, including the day scholars. But actually, we don't have a lot of students who are day scholars. So most of the students, they just live in the school. And even when we have vacation, some of them, since their village is very far, and our country is not that developed, and sometimes when they go back to their village, it takes like around 6 days or 7 days to reach their home. But obviously, if you rent a helicopter, then of course you can get there for within an hour or two, but that's quite impossible for the students. So even when we have like long vacation, most of the students, they stay back at the school. During the result day, so like for this year, we almost had like 94% passed students. And of course, that is a very good number. Sometimes when we do the actual exam, which is prepared by the government, then that is a little different. But these are the ones that we do in the school itself. So the teachers in our school, they make the question papers, they make the answer sheet, they correct the answer sheet and everything. But then when we do it from the government, like last year when we did for the grade 10, which is supposedly like the end of high school, we had like 100% pass result, and even from not only pass, but we had like almost everyone passing in A grade and A plus, and we only had like 2 students who passed in B plus grades. So I think that is like one of the best result in the whole country of Nepal. And then at the school, we not only provide the basic education, but we also try to give like some introduction on Buddhism and having some compassion, having some loving kindness. So when they graduate from the school, it's not like they only think about themselves, but they also have been instilled some characters of Bodhisattva. So most of the students who graduate from a school, they are doing very well. And since most of the students here, all of you, have been providing help and assist to Rinpoche's activities, some of you directly sponsor some of the students that are studying in the school. So I think it is very important for all of you to be updated about what is going on with the Rinpoche's activities. So among all the activities, some of the activities, like when it is directly related with the religion, like the monasteries, then sometimes it doesn't make much impact to us, because we only think about like this life for most of us. But when we are able to provide some education, then most of the students, they feel like little impacted with Rinpoche's activities. But actually, even the activities here in the monastery, the clinics, the school, they are all like almost the same. But sometimes, with most of us being very short-sighted, we think that the school is the most important activities of Rinpoche, and I don't think that's a very bad thing to think of. So even though the school is doing good, we can still hope it can do better. And before Rinpoche passed away, we only had till grade 10, but now we have upgraded to grade 12. And the studies, like I said, are going well. The results are coming out very well, and some of them are being sent to abroad for further studies, like in different colleges, different universities, because of scholarship, and they are all doing well. So that was like just a little update about the school. So now after the result day, the school will have like few weeks off, and during the off days we will be starting with the 100 million recitation of Om Mani Padme Hum at the school, and we have been doing that since early 1990s, maybe like 92 or 1993. So we will continue with that, and normally we do for 10 days, but this year, since we are the host for Nepal Kagimola, so we have to do 3 days of Nepal Kagimola. So we will only do for like a week of Om Mani Padme Hum recitation. So we will be having 10 days of puja at the school. And like I said, even though the school is having like a long vacation, but still we will have most of the students staying back at the school because it is almost impossible for them to go back to the village. And then again tomorrow I have to leave for the Sekar Retreat Center. They also have just completed their exams, and they are also going to give their results tomorrow. And even Sekar Retreat Center is like one of the most important institutions for Thrangu monasteries, because we have our 4-year retreat center there. And some of us say like 3 years, 3 months retreat, but we do like almost 4 years of retreat over there, because we have some extra practices that we do over at the center. So that is why we take like almost 4 years of practice. And not only that, we also have a shelter over there, or more like a Buddhist college over there. And then we have like almost between 150 to 200 students studying there. And some of them are there for their whole life doing retreat. Some of them are there for like 20 years, some of them are like for 5 years. And especially in a monastery, especially here in Nepal and India, there aren't a lot of places where there are so many practitioners who are practicing for their whole life in one place. If you go to like some remote places, maybe you will see like 1 or 2 persons who have committed their whole life in practice, maybe at the most 3-4 persons. But somewhere, but at a place like Sekar Retreat Center, we have like almost more than 20-30 students who have already committed their whole life to practice at that same place. So it is a very important place for practitioners, especially since it was blessed by the Milarepa. It has lots of blessings. And then even at the retreat, now we have like the 11th and 10th group of retreat monks who are practicing there. So in each group we have 8 monks who do the 4 years retreat. And before we were in Sekar Retreat Center or in Bhaktapur, we used to have the retreat center here in Namo. But then since Namo is one of the most famous religious site in Nepal, because when people come for pilgrimage, they come for the pilgrimage of 3 holy stupas, the Bodhana, the Monkey Temple, Thrangu, and here. And since it was very famous, when the monks were doing retreat here, there were like lots of pilgrimages and tourists who came here who wanted to see the place, and then it was like a little of an obstacles to the monks who were doing retreat. So we moved our retreat center from here to Bhaktapur, and we started from the year 2004. And in the year 2004, the first group of retreatants over there were like Tashi, Tashi, and all of them. And till now, we have already completed, I think, 9 groups of retreats. And in each group, we have 8. So that is like almost 80 of the monks who have already completed. And then we still have like around 16 monks who are in the retreat over there, who are doing 4 years retreat. So it is like a very special place for practicing. And even for most of us, like even for someone like me, like I did the retreat from 2008 till 2011, 4 years of retreat. And before my retreat, I did receive quite a few teachings. I did think that I did some meditation and I thought that I have understood some of the teachings. But then after going to the retreat, being in the retreat, I at least realized that I didn't know anything at all. I was not able to understand anything. But at least after the retreat, I got to realize that I didn't understood anything. There's still a very long way for me to understand, for me to learn. And even whatever I've learned till now, I've been only looking outwardly. And I had never looked, or I've never tried looking inside. It was just a misconception of me that I was practicing. But after being in the retreat, at least I was able to realize that hadn't learned anything at all. So I think that was very important for me and maybe for the other practitioners also over there. So because of that, personally and also as being one of Rinpoche's institution, it is very important for all of us. I'm telling you all of this because most of you are students of Gyaltsen Rinpoche, and maybe some of you might not have seen him or received teachings from him. You came here because of maybe Gyaltsen Rinpoche, because you know him, or maybe some of you came here because of me. You have been in connect with me, so you came here. But whether you are in connect with Gyaltsen Rinpoche or whether you are in connection with me, what we have to realize is both whether Gyaltsen or me or any of the monks or nuns in the monastery, we are all here because of Gyaltsen Rinpoche. Whatever we are now, it's all because of the grace of Rinpoche, and we are just following in his footsteps. And it is our responsibility to carry on with the legacy of Rinpoche and all these institutions. It is not only our responsibility, but also the whole students' responsibility to know about these institutions, to understand what is going on in there, what we are teaching, what we are doing, how it is helpful, and everything. So that is why I thought it is important for all of you to know some of the institutions that Rinpoche had built. If we continue with everything, then it is going to be too long. And some of you are in connect or in touch with the Dharma institutions abroad, the institutions or centers or monastery built by Rinpoche. But even those, all those institutions are because of the institutions that we have here. The monastery, the school, the retreat center that we have here. And because we learn or because we get educated over here, so it is very easy to have all those Dharma centers abroad. Whenever we need someone, we can just send someone from here, and all the monks or nuns that you are in touch with, in whichever countries that you are, so they are all being taught here in Nepal and in India. So these institutions here in Nepal and India are like the main institutions of Rinpoche, and because of these institutions we are able to carry on with our activities abroad at all the centers and institutions. And then again, you might think like why the retreat center had to be moved to Bhaktapur. There are like lots of different places where we can move our retreat center from here. But what we have to know is like when we are practicing, the place is also extremely important. And what we have to know is like there are different places where we can practice. In some places, what happens is when you are a very realized beings, then you can bless the place. So even if the place is not being blessed before, even if the place is very new, if you go there, you are practiced, and if you practice there, it still has like lots of meaning. But for some of us who doesn't have much realization, who doesn't have much stability in our practice, it is very important to have a place which has been blessed by great masters. And places like here in Namo Buddha being blessed by the Buddha himself in one of his previous life, or in retreat center now where it has been blessed by Milarepa. So these are all like very holy places. And in holy places, when we make practice, so maybe like in the early stages, you might feel little not so motivated, but as you live there for a very long time, your motivation gets stronger and stronger. Even you see like lots of improvement in your practice. But if you go to like certain places where it has not been blessed by great masters, maybe in the beginning, like when you go to a resort, or maybe where you go to like some very beautiful places, like in the first few days, it seems like, oh, it's a very good place. You feel very motivated, you want to be there, you want to practice. But within few days, you get very demotivated. You don't want to practice much. You don't see much improvement in your practice. And this is all because you don't have the blessings in those places. So it is very important to practice in a place where it has been blessed by great masters. The more it has been blessed, the more it is easier for us to see improvement in our practice. You might think like, oh, I'm doing the same practice, so it might not make any difference whether I practice here or whether I practice at home, whether I practice wherever I like. It is not going to make much of a difference. Most of us think like that. It is what we are doing is more important. The place or maybe the timing is not that important. We do think like that, but actually it is not like that. For example, even when we plant a seed, it is very important where we plant that. We cannot plant a seed anywhere and we hope for the same result. If we plant a seed here in Namo Buddha, or if we plant that maybe in a desert in Africa, or maybe in the mountains in Everest, it is all going to have like different results from the seed. The seed is the same, but we are going to have like different results. And not only that, but these days we can also understand from the things that we buy, like if we buy a bottle of water, maybe in Kathmandu it is only going to be like 10 rupees, 15 rupees, Nepali rupees, but if you drink it here in Namo Buddha, since it is little far, it might cost you like maybe 20, 30 rupees. If you go to the resort over there, maybe the same bottle of water might cost like maybe 100 rupees, 150 rupees. If you go to the airport, then the same bottle of water might cost you 300 rupees, 400 rupees. The water is the same, the bottle is the same, but the place where it is makes a huge difference. So just like that, even when we are practicing, even if it is the same practice, but because of the place where we are practicing, it does make a huge difference. And after this, we continue with the text. And till yesterday, we talked about precious human birth, and today we will talk on impermanence. And here in impermanence, like in this text, we have the 5 root phrases of the Kadamba tradition. And from that, the first one, think about how things changes and nothing lasts. So here what we have to think is, we have to think the impermanence or the changes that we see. Like for example, anywhere we can see, anywhere we watch, it is very easy to see the impermanence. Like almost 40 years back, we have a picture of this place taken by one of our brothers, sitting right at the corner of the shrine hall of this monastery, where there was only the retreat center and the 8 stupas that is on top of the guest house. We only had that here in this place. But now, after 40 years, when you look at the pictures from past and now, you see how much difference there is in this place. And of course, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of time. And when you see the pictures, you are able to realize that how a place changes. And even when we read the biography of Buddha, back then we are able to, when we read the books, we know that he taught in a lot of places in India. And when he taught, there were like thousands and thousands of students. There were like maybe like huge places where the teachings were taught. But then now when we go to these places in India, you can almost see nothing over there. It's only like ruins over there. It seems like maybe there is nothing at all over there. So these are all like examples of impermanence. And even here now we do see a very thriving Buddhist community, lots of monks here, lots of practitioners who are here. But again, if we think that, oh, this is going to last forever, but again, it is also not going to happen like that. One day or another, there is going to be change and there will not be left anything at all. And then not only these places, but almost everywhere we look, like almost maybe 300 years back, the most powerful countries in this world might be some whichever countries, but now we have like maybe the US, which are a very powerful country. But maybe 300 years back, there wasn't a country called United States, which was very powerful. So everything is changing all the time. We have to realize that there is always some changes. What you think that is very powerful now may not be very powerful later. What you think is very good now, they might not be good later. What you think is bad now might be very good in the future. Whom you think as your friend now might be your enemy in the future. Whom you think your enemy as now can be your friend in the future. We have no idea what is going to happen. There is always going to be changes. And also, like even for our own experience, if somebody asks you if someone who is like a baby and someone who is an adult, can they be the same? We will definitely say that, oh, it's impossible to be the same when someone is an infant and an adult. But when we look at ourselves, we all have been an infant before. So maybe some of us like 20 years back, some of us maybe 40 years back. But what we think is we are the same when we were born, like maybe 40 years back, 60 years back, whatever. Back then, when we were like maybe 5 months, maybe 2 years, 3 years, and now maybe we are 30 years, 40, 60, whatever age we are, we think we are the same people. But actually, if someone asks you, like, can there be any, is it the same person when someone is, one is 5 months and then one is 50 years old? If somebody asks you, then of course we are going to say that no, it's going to be impossible. But there are lots of changes, there are impermanence. They are always giving us signs, they are always showing us it is changing. But we, because of our ignorance, we are not able to grasp these ideas or these things that we actually can see very easily. We still believe that we are the same. Even when we are 40 now, we think that me now and me when I was 5 years old, we are the same. But actually it is very different. We still believe that when I was 20 and now we think that we are the same, but actually it is very different. What we know now and what we knew when we were 20 is completely different. How much we weigh now and how much we weigh when we were 20 is completely different. How our health is now, especially after you have like maybe crossed 30, 40, what your health is now and what your health was when you were 20, 15, like that, those are very different. But we still believe that we are the same. When we were 10, when we were 20, right now, we believe that we are the same. But actually these are all like signs of changes. And then when we are taught about these things, we think like, oh, these are things that I already know. There is nothing to be taught. I know there is change. I know there is going to be change. And we are changing. I know the places are changing. I know everything is changing. And we think like, oh, I don't need to be taught all this stuff. But actually it is not like that. We need to be taught. We need to be reminded that there is all these changes. Because even though we believe, sometimes believe that there is impermanence, but we are not in really truly believing that there is impermanence. We still believe that we are the same. And when we believe that there is impermanence like very deeply, then definitely we are going to have more energy when we are practicing. Like for example, when we were young, maybe younger, like when we were younger, then whatever we do, it was very easy to get healed. Like even if you stay very late at night, you do whatever you like. Like for someone like me, when I was in my Buddhist college, or maybe after that, sometimes when there are like football going on, like the World Cup or whatever going on, I would stay up till like midnight, maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And then the next day we have like at 6, we had the puja in the morning in the monastery. But still it wasn't a problem. I would wake up till 1, 2, 3 and then 2 hours sleep, maybe sometimes 3 hours sleep, and then can go to the puja in the morning, 6 o'clock. It is still going to be okay. Can do that 1 time, 2 times, quite a few times. But as we grow older, now if I sleep like maybe around 11 and 12, then it is very difficult to wake up in the morning. Then just like that, even when we get sick, like for someone like me, if I get like a cold, before when I was young, it was very easy to get healed. Now, when I'm like 40 plus, then it is quite difficult to get healed. So it is not only with me, it is with every one of us. The older we get, it is very difficult to get over our sickness or maybe our tiredness, whatever we have. And we have to realize that from now on, it is only going to be harder and harder. So if I sleep at 11 now, and if I can wake up at maybe 7, then maybe in the next 1 or 2 years, I will not be able to wake up at 7. Maybe I can only wake up at 8. It will take longer for me to get over my tiredness. And then maybe after 10 years, maybe it will be 9. And even if I get sick, it will take longer. So it is the same case with all of us. So now what happens is it will only get worse and worse and worse. Our health will take more time to improve. Our tiredness will take more time to get rid of. Everything is going to take longer. So we have to make use of the time that we have now. We have to know that, oh, even if it is very difficult now, but if I postpone it for next year, but if you do it next year, it is going to be more difficult. If I hope that, oh, I'll do it after 5 years, then it is going to be very difficult to do it back after 5 years. If we are doing prostration now, of course, we will think it is very difficult. But if we leave it for like 2 years later, 5 years later, it is going to be more difficult. Even with the way we sit now, cross-leg, we think that it is very difficult now. But if we do it after a few years, it is going to be way more difficult. So everything is going to be more difficult. And when we learn on impermanence, when we realize that it is going to change, and we are going to have more difficulties in the future, then we can have more motivation to practice now. We will not leave it for later. Because now, since we don't have the belief in impermanence, we think we are going to be the same now, because we still think that we are the same now and 10 years back. But actually we all, when we think about it, we do realize that we have changed a lot. And the more we believe, the more we think that, oh, it is going to change very soon. So it is now when we have to practice. And then the second one, think of the many others who have died. So we have to think about all the others who have died. So it doesn't make a difference whether they are younger than us, older than us, more powerful than us. When we think about those who have died, like we had lots of friends when we were in school, but I'm pretty sure most of us have already lost our friends to death. Not everyone, but for sure maybe 1 or 2% when those who have. We had studied in the school. Not only that, maybe some of our friends with whom we studied in college, they might have already passed away, some of them. And some of other friends whom we only met because of the Dharma. We became Dharma brothers and sisters. And even though we have known them for only a few years, maybe they have already passed away. And not only that, some very powerful people, like for here in Nepal, like the royal families are like one of the most powerful family here. But even if they, no matter how much powerful they were, all the royal families, they all died in the same night. So it doesn't make a difference whether they are powerful or not, or whether when we are like very realized, when we know a lot of Dharma, but still like our precious Rinpoche, even though he was very realized, he still have passed away. So no matter who we are finally are going to face the death, and we have to keep on remembering or thinking about all these masters or people who have died. And then we have to realize that we are very lucky. We are still alive. There were people who were younger than me who have already passed away. There are people who are older than me who have already passed away. There are people who were maybe more educated than me, more powerful than me, or maybe not as powerful as me. So all of these people have already passed away, but me, I'm still alive. And whether if I'm going to be alive for a very long time, that we are not very sure. We believe that maybe we will live up to 100 years at the max. Maybe we believe that maybe we are going to live till maybe 80 or 90. And even if we live till like 80 or 90, for someone like me, like I'm 41 now, and even if I live up to 80, it's like almost half of my life I have already spent. But if I believe that, oh, now I'm a little closer to my death, then what I used to think maybe 2 years back, then I don't think I find my death very far away. I still think that it is still the same, whether when I was 35, whether I'm now 41, whether when I was 20. I always think that my death is very, very far away. But if we think properly, then we have to realize that every year, every day, we are getting closer and closer to our death. Like when we send a file to someone, when we send a very big file through any social media, we see that whatever GB is being sent, we see that, oh, now if we are sending 100 GB folder or file, we see that, and then we see that, oh, it's moving on. 5 GB has been sent, 10 GB has been sent, now 50 GB has been sent, it's sending. And when it is like 50 GB, we think that, oh, it's almost done, or we are almost able to send the file. But then with our own life, we don't feel like that. Actually, for someone like me, I've already sent 14 GB of my life, for example, to the death. But whether when I was 20, 40, maybe even after 5, 10 years, I still think that my death is very far away. Maybe most of you might also think like that. Some of you are older than me, some of you are younger than me, and no matter older or younger, we all have crossed at least 20 years old. And if you look into yourself, if you see that every year or every day you feel like you're getting closer to death, then it means your practices are going very well. You are really fearing the death. But if you still feel the same this year, if you have felt the same last year before that, when you were very young, then it means that we are still very far away from the practice. And then again, we might think like when we are practicing Buddhism, why are we always being very negative? always talking about death, always talking about impermanence. But these are not something to be avoided. These are like real, true facts. Whether we believe them or whether we don't believe them, it is not like we can avoid them. We are all going to face death. And if we have like a certain time for sure, then of course we can prepare for it, but it is not like that. When we break a glass, we feel like very normal. And we think like when we drop a glass from our table, when it breaks, we feel like, oh, the glass fell and it broke. We take that very easily because we know that glasses can break very easily. But we believe that our life is like very permanent. It is very easy. It is not very easy to break, but actually it is not like that. Even our life is more breakable than a glass. It is just that when you breathe out, and then you cannot breathe in, just that we already die. It is actually very easy, but we don't accept that. We always think that, oh, it is like very strong. It is not very easy to die like that, but it is not like that. It is extremely easy to face death. And then when we are talking about impermanence, actually it is not only death. There is always changes every moment, every second. But when we give an example, then of course we give an example of death. And what is the benefit of practicing on impermanence? We might think like that. We always think about death. We always think about impermanence. So what is the use of meditating on that? This is like, for example, like if we go on a holiday for like 3 days to a new country, then what happens is we believe that, oh, I only have 3 days. I have to make use of the 3 days. You will try to fit in as much attraction or destination as possible within these 3 days. You will try not to waste a lot of time. You will go to one destination and right after that you will try to go to another destination and then you will try to make use of it. But if you are there for like maybe 1 week, then maybe you will do it little more casually. You will not do it in a very rush time. But if you are maybe like going there for a year, then again you will do it very slowly and you will take your time like that. And just like that, even our life, when we believe that it can be gone within a second, or maybe we will die within a few days or a few years, the more we believe that we don't have much time, the more we will think that, oh, I don't have much time. I have to make use of the time that I have. If I believe that I'm going to die next year, then there is more possibility for me to practice as much as I can in this 1 year. If I believe that I'm going to die tomorrow, then there is again extremely more motivation for me to practice today. But if I think like, oh, I'm going to live for very long, I will only die when I'm 80 or maybe 90, then I will keep away all my practices, all my prayers and everything. I will think that I will do it next year, or maybe after 10 years, 20 years. And then again after 20 years, again I might think that, oh, maybe I'll die at 90. Then again I will leave it again during that time. But when I think that, oh, I'm going to die any moment, I'm going to die maybe today, maybe tomorrow, the more stronger the faith I have that I'm going to die, the sooner there will be more effort in our practice when we are practicing. And of course, it is not a lie when we say that we have no idea when we are going to die. We have no idea when we are going to die for sure. We cannot be very sure that I will live till tomorrow. We have no idea whether tomorrow will come early or whether my next life will become earlier. We all think that tomorrow is going to come earlier, but we never know. Even today, when we are walking down, we might fall down. Even when we are just sleeping, we might lose our breath and die. It is very easy to die. So the more we believe that we are going to die sooner, it helps us in our practice. And that is the main reason we practice on impermanence. And these are all the things that we need to keep meditating upon impermanence. So it is advisable when we are doing meditation, we think on this. But again, when we are not meditating, when we are maybe trying to sleep, maybe we are traveling somewhere, we can still meditate on it. The more we think about impermanence, the more we are thinking about death, the more we are afraid of death. There is more possibility for us to be frightened of death and then do something about it, to prepare something about it. But if we are not afraid of our death, then we will definitely not prepare anything. We will just take everything very easy. So it is very important to think about all this thing, all those people who are dying and thinking that, oh, I will also die. I have no idea how I am going to die. Anything can lead me to my death. The more we think about it, the more we are afraid and frightened of our death, the easier it makes us to practice. We stop here for today.